Well, hello, everybody. We're going to be starting in a minute at 11 o'clock. And now it's 11 o'clock. So welcome, everybody. Our theme today is where are the salespeople I hired? And when they don't perform, if that happens, whose fault is it? Are we doing our job? Are we developing our team? Is it all luck? So here we're going to take a journey into the seller's mindset and to some extent, the buyer's mindset. Are you ready? How important to selling is luck? Is selling mostly a matter of luck? Like in a strong market, lots of demand, we do well. In a soft market, not so well. How do salespeople see this issue? Do they sit back and say, where are the Glengarry leads? How do we see the issue? Quick case history, race to the South Pole, 1911, Scott and Amundsen, British and Norwegian team. They both got there. Amundsen got there first. Was it luck? Got there a month earlier. Let's look at it. Was it luck? Preparation and training were key. Amundsen started 60 miles closer to the South Pole. Most importantly, he trained with Eskimos. He learned cold weather survival techniques. And it caused him to use dog sleds to travel, whereas Scott used the latest innovation, snowmobiles, which broke down. And so his team had to haul the sleds. Amundsen took 10 times the supplies per person of Scott's team, buried many supply depots along the route. Scott only did one. Amundsen started 2 weeks earlier, and he did a 20-mile march, which meant every day they marched 20 miles. Good weather, bad weather, blizzard, sunny weather, didn't matter. They both had the same good luck and bad luck. So how come, well, not only did Amundsen get there first, but a sad part of the story is every member of Scott's team died, including Scott. How come? You might wonder, how do we know what happened with Scott's team? He kept a journal. And, you know, they starved and froze maybe 10 miles from the depot they had buried with food. So the teams racing to the South Pole needed entrepreneurial skills. They needed to be able to manage uncertainty. And by the way, so do we. Business development is fraught with uncertainty. Entrepreneurial selling improves our luck. Now, you remember the entrepreneurial assignment. In starting and building your business, you need to do a lot of selling. You sold bankers, vendors to provide credit, customers, of course, employees to join you. What's the big deal, right? It's no big deal. You've done this. Yeah, but this tree looks vibrant, but it's hollowed out inside. This is what happens if we're not entrepreneurial enough, if we don't manage uncertainty well. So you might ask, well, where are the entrepreneurial salespeople we needed if you don't have quite the number you want? There's a calculation that shows you there aren't enough entrepreneurs to go around. Now, there are a number of profiles that evaluate what our qualities are, what kind of people we are. The DISC profile probably estimates 15% of the population are entrepreneurial, about 45 million people. 50% of them are in the workforce, about 23 million. There are 27 million small businesses. So if you wonder where are the entrepreneurial people, most of them are working in their own businesses. That's where they are. And that's why this idea of the hybrid entrepreneurial salesperson is so important. So when we look at our sales team, if we have one really, really strong salesperson, are they an outlier? Is that an outlier? Or could they actually be the mean, the average of our overall population? In a typical sales team with at least 4 salespeople, the average person is a hybrid entrepreneur and can be developed. Now, what are the qualities of an entrepreneur that are critical to business development? The hybrid entrepreneur hits threshold levels of these qualities. Do or die, got to get it done, own it. Mastering uncertainty, transcending social mores, including challenging the prospect's thinking, The scientist mindset, if what we're doing doesn't work, try something else. Now, the one thing may not be great at is paradigm building, needs us for that reason, paradigm building. How do you evaluate candidates and benchmark them against this? There's the star. You hire the star, and the star is high energy, high assertive, high sociability. Now, the con man is somebody who purports to want to do business development, but when they take a diagnostic test, we find out they don't have high energy levels and they're not assertive. The most common hire is the social seller. Medium energy level, medium assertiveness, loves to be sociable. Now, if this person is coachable, we could transform them into a hybrid entrepreneur. Let's look at what that means. The first and most important thing are the values, the mindset. So, to create a sales hero, we have to displace the idea that selling is slimy with the idea that a salesperson is a hero. The idea of the heroic salesperson is developed in Hero with 1,000 Faces. How long should this take? We could transform people in 3 to 4 months. The modern dragons that sales heroes need to vanquish are dragons of the mind: ignorance, bias, complacency, right? These are the things the salesperson, that the salesperson has to overcome every day: laziness and the closed mindset. So it takes a hero to do these things. And in 3 to 4 months, you can transform a sales culture from slimy to the heroic. A heroic entrepreneurial salesperson knows how to use the window and the mirror properly. This idea is in Good to Great by Collins. With success, we look outside the window, we share and give credit to the team. With a setback, we look in the mirror and we accept responsibility, asking ourselves, what else can we do? Now, the mirror is the opposite of learned helplessness. What does that mean? It means that we accept there's nothing we could do, and it draws on the metaphor of how elephants are trained in the zoo. When a baby elephant is being trained, they drive a stake in the ground, they put a rope, and they attach it to the elephant's leg. The elephant lacks the energy, the strength to move it, and they learn to be afraid of the rope. That's how you could see a zookeeper, moving 1 or even 2 elephants that weigh 10,000 pounds and could crush them down a road to a new pen. They have learned helplessness. Unfortunately, sometimes salespeople have learned helplessness. There's nothing I can do. The prices are too high. We don't have the dating terms, the inventory. So what we need to do, we need to get a culture where salespeople look in the mirror and say, what else can I do? Could I have made more sales calls? Have called them another time. The low-hanging fruit, the entrepreneurial low-hanging fruit, is the magic moment of access. This is a way to manage the uncertainty. So what is the magic moment? You've met a client's needs and you confirm they're delighted, there are no further needs, and now you have a magic moment of access. To do what? Well, before I tell you what you could do, bear in mind very often we run past the magic moment of access. What does that mean? We're in project management mode. So we're calling people back, we're checking off the list to see if they're satisfied, and then we move on. Instead, what to do is slow down, right? And take advantage of this magic moment. The prospects told us they're happy. What can we do in this magic moment? If we're not in project management mode, we pause. Maybe we can break the pigeonhole. You're buying A from us, how about product B or service B? We could also ask for an introduction. So the first thing we do to transform from hybrid to hybrid entrepreneurs into the entrepreneurial mindset is we work on the value. The next thing we do is we look at our selling tools. Let's look at the selling tools. And here's another view on why we need to prove that comes from Kahneman's book, Thinking Fast and Slow. It's how we understand the saying, a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Kahneman studied risk aversion. Let's do his risk aversion problem. What would you rather have? $50,000 sure thing, or we toss a coin? Heads, you get 100,000, tails, you get 0. Which would you rather have? If you're like most folks, you'll go for the sure thing, because it's a sure thing. All right. Now Kahneman changes the exercise. He says, okay, now it's $40,000 sure thing, or we flip a coin. Heads 100,000, tails 0. What do you pick now? Most people, believe it or not, will still pick the sure thing, even though it's 20% less than the value of the coin toss. In fact, what Kahneman found doing this experiment tens of thousands of times over 50 plus years is the average person has a break-even point of 2 to 1, which means the sure thing has to be worth half the value of the coin toss before they'll go for the coin toss. So how does this apply to us? If we're doing business development, if we're trying to open new accounts or expand existing accounts, we have to typically displace an incumbent, and the prospect is risk averse. What do we do to deal with his risk aversion? Here's a 4-step sequence for dealing with risk aversion. We have strong processes, which we demonstrate, which lead to strong statistics. For instance, this is a gas analyzer equipment, and it's in a process production that runs 24/7, and so uptime is really important. And that allows us to give a strong warranty. And this is validated by strong customer testimonials in different languages here. The key here is, what are our processes that lead to our statistics? This is a way underutilized technique in our selling. So if we have the right values, and that's not easy, and we have the right selling tools, now we look at the selling process. A strong standard sales call, which will prove to the skeptic, has 3 parts. 1 to 7, we warm up the conversation. 8 to 12 is our fact finding. And 13 to 18, we prove our case, and then we close the sale. Well, if we've got the right value system, and this is a lot of work, and the selling tools and the selling process, now we establish relationships with new prospects, and we can manage this process. So we can improve our luck by earning the right to the magic moment and acting in that moment. We can improve our luck with preparation, research, agenda. We can improve our luck with enough effort. So if you look at how strong your pipeline is, here's a suggestion to build your pipeline. Put in enough effort so that we have $5 of good opportunity for every dollar we need to close. That allows for black swan events like COVID-19 or the CMO meltdown in 2007. Now, how do we know we have a good opportunity? PIKs, payments in kind. What has the prospect done to show that he, she, they are committed to the process? This should be a spectator sport. This should not be a spectator sport. This should be an involvement sport. The prospect needs to be involved. So what might be an example of a PIK, a payment in kind, showing the prospect is involved? They fill out a credit application. They check a reference. The buyer introduces you to their boss. It's different in every business. If you have a manufacturing facility and they're willing to do it in a time of COVID, they come to visit you. So it's not enough to have in the pipeline. We have to have strong opportunity in the pipeline, qualified by PIKs. How serious is the prospect? Well, we know Rome wasn't built in a day, so we've come to the end of our webinar. Might be a good moment for you to think about your takeaways, if any. And an announcement. Our next webinar, January 12th at 11 a.m., is going to be Transform Your Sales Team with Bold Behavior Coaching. Transform your sales team with bold behavior coaching. Well, thanks for joining us for our webinar. We're delighted to have you. Any questions, reach out to me at andyg@urgencybasedselling.net. Go to our website, www.urgencybasedselling.net. And I look forward to hearing from you in the future. Please come to our next webinar. Thanks so much. Have a great day. See you soon.